Hello and welcome to the NWC show. My name is Barry and today we're here to talk about Backlash review, pretty much. We're then going to be talking about the passing of one of my favourite wrestlers of all time. By the way, I've got a mic here, so just let me know how this sounds. But one of my favourite wrestlers of all time, Sabu. And then I'll do what I touched on. So today I was going to talk about Backlash and the AEW pricing for the Glasgow Hydro, but I think I'll probably just focus more on Sabu. We'll get into it. Anyway, so don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and that beautiful notification bell, guys, so you get notified when I go live, which is kind of sporadic now since I'm training, and I'm training a lot at the minute. But so let's get into Backlash. I enjoyed it. I felt it was a throwback to what In Your House pay-per-views used to be like. Like, do you know, see, like, back in the early 90s, late 90s, sorry, and mid-90s, whatever time the 90s were in, you'd watch In Your House, or even if you went back and watched In Your House now, it's like pay-per-views that had good matches on it. Wasn't the best pay-per-view. Didn't normally have, like, stuff that would change the world. But it did. Sorry, I need to cut my back, guys. Oh, there we go. So it didn't have stuff that would change the world, but it did have a lot of cool moments in it. And genuinely, it is one of a great time in wrestling, that In Your House style, that In Your House period. But this Backlash pay-per-view, did I think it was the best in the world? No. Did it have strong matches from top to bottom? Yes. Cena Orton was enjoyable. Fatal 4-Way was enjoyable. Everything was good on it. Was it world-stealing greatest pay-per-view of all time? No. Was it an enjoyable wrestling pay-per-view? Yes. Does it have to be a WrestleMania every single month? No, and I'm glad WWE are starting to realise that. But giving you like good matches, a little bit of a story, and something enjoyable to get after Mania, 100%. And it was really, really enjoyable. I enjoyed it top to finish. The Orton Cena thing I thought was pretty good. Everything on it I thought was pretty good. I did think it was like that In Your House style stuff. And that's just, but because you think about it, back then you would have like your four main pay-per-views, your Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and everything else was pretty much just In Your House style pay-per-views. Obviously in 1999, 2001 and so on, it ended up being every single month was just insane pay-per-view because you had guys like Austin, Rock, Taker, Kane, Jericho, X-Pac, Billy Gunn, Triple H. The list is endless, but I enjoyed it. I don't really see there was much a problem with it. I would say, highly would say, go watch it. The Cena Orton stuff was a throwback to the old kind of style. Watching those back then, when Cena and Orton were really feuding, I used to hate it because it was at that time when I was a teenager and wrestling. I was wrestling, and you're just like, why are these people doing this? It's not that great, blah blah blah. But now it's cool to go and see it and enjoy it from a different kind of perspective. Sorry guys, I don't know why my lights just turned off. Right, just turned off. I probably need to charge it. But anyway, I should have checked that before the show started. But as you all know, I mostly forget stuff. I've been up since 4 and at the gym. But anyway, it was a good pay-per-view. Now, I want to move on to Sabu. And before I do, let's touch on the AEW ticket pricing. Now, the pricing for tickets for AEW at the Hydro is quite shit, as in back seat Hydro, very top tier that you can get. Back seat, £68 plus your ticket fees. Now, lots of people in Glasgow and the surrounding area are moaning about the prices of the Hydro anyway. I was blaming the companies that were coming. I was like, oh, WWE are charging too much, hence why didn't they go to Raw and stuff like that. But I think it must be something to do with the Hydro because it's similar pricing. AEW is putting on it's Dynamite and Rampage they're putting on. It's a longer show. It's probably known. You'd think they would be cutting the prices down a little bit. But it's the same kind of price, and that's the kind of similar pricing for most things. And if you ever do go to the Hydro, go to a bar or something before it because they have terrible beer in it and it's overpriced as shit, like most places. But yeah, it's overpriced as shit. No, but I do. I've just been thinking about it, and I was going to come on and criticise the AEW for the cost and their prices and stuff like that. Especially here, there's not that many people that are going to be going to the AEW show that aren't travelling from elsewhere. And just to hit on a point about AEW, WWE, the kind of difference between both. My partner's friend, so our daughter goes to the same school as my daughter and my son. Her son had a party at the weekend and it was a wrestling themed party, and all he wanted was wrestlers. And he's been going and watching wrestling on YouTube and stuff like that, and it's just WWE. He wanted Sheamus. He had a WWE belt. He was coming out saying that he's Jacob Fatu, and yeah. So all that. Not once did he mention he was an AEW star, which is telling. And guess what? See, when we're all talking about Attitude Era was this, Attitude Era was that, we were children when it was happening. I was a child, I was in primary school when Attitude Era was happening, and it was really, really enjoyable. And that's why it was enjoyable, because it was doing stuff that was different. And today, do I love WWE? No, really. Do I think wrestling is kind of meh at the minute? 100%. Fucking nothing really happening in it. Same shit. It's just the same shit that's been happening for years. And it's missing out on guys like Sabu. And this is why I'm going to get into this conversation here. I'm watching Sabu right now on the TV here. Match that we've got on right now. It's the ones TNA put up a little thing. I'll link it in the comments. I'll just go to TNA, type in Sabu TNA, and it'll come up. One of the first ones, like 2 and a bit hours, and it's some of his best matches there. And yeah, quite a lot of the Sabu versus Abyss, which is some of my favourite matches of him. Right now is the barbed wire match, which I've watched. I can listen to the commentary and be able to tell you exactly what's happening in that match. I've watched this loads, but I had the opportunity to interview Sabu for this show, for the NWC show, and I took it, and I loved it. I loved interviewing him. Met him once or twice before that. Quite a lot of my friends from wrestling knew him. Quite a lot of guys that I still have on Facebook that are involved in the industry or have left the industry and were involved and have wrestled them. I've been sharing pictures and stuff of them recently, and it's really quite cool to see. But yeah, last night I was sitting and I saw it pop up on my phone. I was like, surely no. Because no one of those ones, for me, this is like when Scott Hall passed away. And I said, I had the chance to interview Sabu, which was a dream come true. I spoke to him for about 30, 40 minutes before the interview and after it. And even though it was only like a 30-minute interview, we spoke, we talked about different stuff, and we talked about our common friends and whatever, and it was pretty cool. But a fun little tidbit here is, so I first went to wrestling training and stuff like that, and was enjoying it, and obviously I wanted to be like Bret Hart and Stone Cold and all those guys, so I was a child going to wrestling training and whatever, and then my friend at wrestling training gave me a DVD, and went home, put it in, sat and watched it, and it was an ECW DVD, and it had Sabu versus Terry Funk in that barbed wire ring. And I sat there, watched it, and went, I want to do that. That is so cool. Second match was him against Rob Van Dam. I ended up watching all of those. Uh, the triple threat match. Shane Douglas, Terry Funk, and Sabu. Sabu Terry Funk had some brilliant matches. Sabu RVD, Sabu Sandman, Sabu Mick Foley. Abyss, then when he was against John Cena in WWE later in the years, I even liked it. I just loved him. I watched it and I went, I want to do that. And I remember just, I can do that. And I went and done it and it was cool. I loved it. Such an influence on, and it was just so different. It was different in everything else that you've seen. The cookie cutter, like stereotypical wrestler, and then you had Sabu, like a once in a lifetime generational star that you'll never get again. Do you know what I mean? You'll never get somebody like, and all Darby Allin comes close and stuff like that. But those guys have their own, like Jeff Hardy, whatever. Like those guys have their own thing. Like Sabu was just always Sabu. You think of ECW, you think of Sabu, you think of the mental stuff that he used to do, going through tables and chairs and the jumping off the chair onto the rope and I've been watching Sabu the whole time that I've been, from when I started wrestling to when I had to leave wrestling because I was injured to now. How long have we talking here? 20 plus years of watching Sabu wrestle. I've got a TNA lockdown DVD in there, the one when he wrestled Samoa Joe. Sabu, Samoa Joe in lockdown. It's on that thing that TNA uploaded. A fantastic match and just cool. It's just so shit that he was only 60. Now I know 60 is old for some people or whatever, but still, it's one of my favourite wrestlers of all time. When Scott Hall passed away, Razor Ramon, I remember how shit that was, and how I was like, oh man, this is like a great wrestler, and he's left. It was quite shit. But now it's Sabu, and I think that's the downside of getting older for any kids that'll be watching this, which I don't recommend you watch me swear and shout about wrestling, but if you do, stick around. When you get older, your childhood heroes, they get older with you and they end up, unfortunately, passing away. And this was just one of those times. And yeah, Sabu was so unique. I've got a signed photo now that when I met him one time. I used to have a wrestling figure, a Sabu one that I went when I was in New York. I went to Toys R Us that was there to get this in particular Sabu figure. Now I don't have it anymore, but I remember it being a thing I had to go do. And it's just I had the privilege of interviewing him, getting to know him, and we spoke a few times after that interview, even when I round this channel down because of job that I took and dealing with some mental health stuff. I remember speaking to him, he reached out to me, I reached out to him, and we were talking here and there. And was his last match his best match? Of course it wasn't. He was 60 years old, trying to still do the 1990 style Sabu because he didn't want to let anybody down. And that is telling. Now, you look at guys like Van Dam, Sandman, Terry Funk, New Jack, the Dudleys, the Edge and Christian, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, the Hardy Boys, your Ric Flairs, your Bret Harts, all these guys, Stone Colds, Rocks, all the guys that have one of a kind personalities. You don't really get to replicate a Stone Cold. You don't really get to replicate a Bret Hart. a Kurt Angle, Undertaker, a Kane, Brock Van Dam. Sabu is up there with those guys, and it's just quite shit to see that one of your childhood heroes that you grew up watching has unfortunately passed away. And you know what? It comes with a part of the age that I'm getting, and also comes with the shit that you done. But you say ECW to somebody, you tell somebody to type in ECW. Another fun story here. I had a physics book when I was in secondary school at Jota, and you were allowed to put a poster around it or cover it in paper, whatever. Most people done different kind of people done Celtic ones, people done Rangers ones, and they all got ripped off because I grew up in Glasgow, so it was you're not allowed to do that. You had to put something different on. People done posters or whatever, and I done ECW. It was an ECW poster, and it's Sabu cut open, blood everywhere, and on the back of it had Sabu and Terry Funk with the barbed wire, and it was just such a cool thing. I remember doing that. Like, I've watched this guy for years. I mimicked him. I wanted to act like him. I wanted to add in his stuff into my wrestling stuff. And there's so many guys that would probably say the same thing. So if you look back, no, hardcore wrestling is played out. It's no too much has happened in it now. There's only got a shelf life, and you can see that. But if you look at guys like Sick Nick Mondo, you can see where he took some of his stuff from Sabu. JC Bailey, which was a great friend of mine, unfortunately, he passed away as well. You're looking at these guys that done this and pushed their bodies to the limits with light tubes and barbed wire chairs and just pushed themselves to the limits. And Sabu was one of those guys. Innovator. There's nothing else I can really say. He's the words can't encapsulate what Sabu is like. If you go and watch some of these matches from ECW, TNA, or wherever, just the great selling in these matches, the chair shots, the jumping, the stuntman like hardcore balls to the wall wrestling that he done every single match. And one of my friends he wrestled in ECW, and he always says Sabu was a thing that you had to experience in the arena. I unfortunately never got to experience him in an arena or in the ECW arena, but watching these matches back, you can see how amazing it would be to watch him, and definitely is such a shit moment for the wrestling community to see somebody so unique just go. I've always put Sabu up there in my top 10 wrestlers of all time. I know a lot of people don't like him, don't rate him, whatever. I always have. I've always enjoyed everything he's done. I thought most of these matches were fantastic. And again, you weren't sitting down to watch a Sabu match for a 5-star classic. You were sitting down to watch a Sabu match to think, how the feckles can somebody do that? But quite a shit time. I actually just finished watching Backlash, and then I saw that and I was like, oh shit. But overall, Backlash, guys, was a good pay-per-view. I'd recommend you go watch it. But before you do that, go check out some Sabu matches. Go check out Sabu RVD. One I would recommend you to check out is that TNA thing. The whole thing in it is fantastic. They've got Sabu Raven, who is another one of my favourite wrestlers, but Sabu Raven versus Jarrett and Rhino, which is a fantastic tag match. Just really weird. You don't think it would be good, but it is. The Samoa Joe Sabu's just came on the TV, you know. It's a good match too. I'd even say that triple threat, Sabu, Terry Funk and Shane Douglas. Go check that out. Check out Terry Funk and Sabu barbed wire match. Sabu Abyss barbed wire match. Just go watch whatever Sabu match you want. Pay honorary tribute to the suicidal, homicidal, and genocidal man that he was. And yeah, quite a good weekend of wrestling, finished off by quite shit news, but it's wrestling, guys. And I'm hopefully going to be doing TikTok more. I know I said that last time I was on here. I totally forgot. Like I said, I'm training quite a lot, so it is just time that I get it. Let me know what you want to see me do on this YouTube channel and what you want to see me do on TikTok. I'm going to be doing a kind of let's talk wrestling sort of this. We're going to sit down, talk some wrestling, talk about what's happening, and have a little rant about different stuff. But I also want to find out what you want. I want to bring back watch-alongs as well. I don't know if you want me to do a watch-along of a match, maybe live on like a Wednesday or a Thursday night. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. And yeah, go watch the Sabu match. And if you want to hear me and him talk one load of shit, go watch my interview with him. It's one of my favourite interviews I've ever done for my NWC Show podcast. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and that beautiful notification bell. And I will see you hopefully next week if I remember. See you then, guys.